Fabrizio Romano confirms Wesley Fofana to Chelsea. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Wesley Fofana will leave Leicester City and join Chelsea this summer transfer window. After multiple rejected bids and the player trying to force a move, it looks like Wesley Fofana is set to join Chelsea. Last night, it was heavily reported that the Blues were on the verge of agreeing a deal with Leicester for his signature. The Frenchman has been dropped by Brendan Rodgers due to him trying to push through a move. The Foxes had rejected 3 bids and Fofana thought the last 2 were more than reasonable. Due to his willingness to play for Thomas Tuchel's side, Leicester have now officially accepted Chelsea's most recent proposal. According to the very reliable Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea and Leicester reached an agreement on Friday for the 21-year-old. The reported fee that Chelsea will pay for the Frenchman is £75 million, with add-ons included. Fabrizio has also confirmed that Fofana will sign a 6-year deal at Stamford Bridge, meaning he will be at Chelsea until at least 2028. This is a big move for the Blues, especially considering that Leicester were apparently holding out for £85 million. Conor Gallagher urged to leave Chelsea and sign for Newcastle United. Former Scotland manager Alex McLeish has urged Conor Gallagher to join Newcastle United on loan. After a very impressive loan move with Crystal Palace last season, many clubs still want to try and sign Conor Gallagher this window. Everton, Palace, Aston Villa and Newcastle United have been some of the clubs linked with a potential move. However, it's still unknown if Thomas Tuchel will allow the transfer to happen, especially with N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic both currently injured. Despite these injuries, once they return, Gallagher's game time will be significantly reduced, which could potentially see him push for a move before that happens. In a recent interview with Football Insider, Alex McLeish said that joining Newcastle would be a great move for Gallagher. When you are at the level Newcastle are, with their spending, you don't want to make mistakes, McLeish said. You have to make the most of your budget, which is why Newcastle might be looking at loans. When you are bringing in top young players, you always have a chance. Guardiola has spent well over £1 billion at Man City. That is what you have to do to bring in those top players and what you have to spend to stay right at the top. That's what Man City have done. If Gallagher is allowed to leave, which it looks like he might, what a place to go and sign. Newcastle are so positive right now. Frank Lampard claims Anthony Gordon is worth £100 million amid Chelsea rumours. Frank Lampard has put a crazy price tag on Everton youngster Anthony Gordon after Chelsea have shown their interest in him. So far this summer, Chelsea have already had 2 bids turned down by Everton for Anthony Gordon. The first bid was around £42 million, whilst the second offer was in the region of £45 million. At the time of the first bid, the Toffees reportedly wanted £50 million for him. However, after seeing how much Chelsea want him, it's thought Frank Lampard's side wouldn't accept anything less than £60 million now. For some strange reason, that is a price tag that the Blues have seriously been considering paying for Gordon. The 21-year-old is also pushing for a move to Stamford Bridge, with him hoping a big move will help him get into the World Cup squad this winter. Despite all these rumours, a large majority of Chelsea fans don't want the transfer to happen, mainly down to how much he is going to cost. Everton boss and former Chelsea player, Lampard, has also been very adamant about keeping his key player this summer. This has led him to claim that Gordon should be one of the most expensive players ever. According to Sky Sports News, Lampard has said that Gordon is worth at least £100 million. We're not too sure what Lampard is doing here, but there is no way he thinks a player with 4 goals in 63 games is worth over £100 million. He isn't even worth £30 million. If Chelsea actually bid £60 million and Everton reject it, they will most likely regret it for a very long time. Who knows what is going to happen with this deal though, as it seems like all parties have completely lost their mind. Thomas Tuchel admits it's difficult to replace unique Chelsea star N'Golo Kante. Thomas Tuchel has confirmed N'Golo Kante will be absent for at least another 4 weeks and is facing an increasingly difficult challenge to replace a unique player. The 31-year-old picked up a hamstring strain during the 2-2 draw against Tottenham earlier this month and subsequently missed last weekend's defeat against Leeds. Without their midfield linchpin, Chelsea were outrun and unable to cope with a frenetic pace set by Jesse Marsch's enthusiastic side. Kante will miss tomorrow's game against his former club Leicester and is unlikely to be seen until after the international break at the end of September at the earliest. For N'Golo, it's difficult to replace him. He's unique, said Tuchel at his pre-match press conference. We were full of hope after the pre-season because we built his pre-season very individually and he had a long pre-season. He felt good since many years. He felt very strong that he'd had enough rest to be the player that he can be for us. We started with one game every week, so the hopes were very high that he could play consistently for us. Despite the challenge of finding a solution to a Kante-less midfield, Tuchel insists he is unlikely to tinker with the system which has brought him, in the main, success during his Stamford Bridge tenure. If we build another system, I don't know. We have trust in our players and it will be in the same system. We played unfortunately many games without him. The structure will slightly different because every player is a bit different, and that is then he challenged to adapt to this and use different players differently, but to change completely because N'Golo isn't there, I don't think so. He said, he's back in the group. N'Golo is the only one that did not train now this week. So everybody is back in training. Kovacic is back in the group and ready to play some 20 minutes against Leicester. Hakim Ziyech to Ajax unlikely after Chelsea reveals stance following €40 million asking price. Hakim Ziyech is now unlikely to join Ajax from Chelsea this summer amid the Blues' €40 million valuation of the player, according to reports. The former Moroccan international has faced an uncertain future at the Blues throughout the summer, having struggled for consistent game time under Thomas Tuchel. He signed for Chelsea from Ajax in 2020, having been highly impressive at the Dutch Giants. However, he has been unable to replicate the form he showed in the Eredivisie during his time in English football, and could be on his way out this summer. Earlier in the transfer window, Ziyech was heavily linked with a switch to AC Milan, but this has since failed to materialize. Soon after, there was speculation over a potential return to Ajax as the attacker looks to sort out his future amid the upcoming deadline. Both clubs had scheduled further talks over a potential deal, with the Dutch side eyeing him as a key target for the summer. It was also revealed that Chelsea would want around €40 million for the player, although this fee is said to be too high for Ajax. They would only like to sign him on loan, and now it looks as though Ziyech will not make a return to his former club this summer. According to Mike Verwey, there is nothing going on anymore in terms of a deal between Chelsea and Ajax for Ziyech. The 29-year-old does not want to join on loan and the Blues only want to sell him, but his fee and wages are too high for the reigning Eredivisie champions. Ziyech has only made one appearance for Chelsea so far this season, coming off the bench in their 3-0 loss away at Leeds United on Sunday. They will now face Leicester City at home this weekend, and will be hoping for a better result than the one at Elland Road.